gracious. Glorifying to you. We ask you, Father, to bless, Lord, everyone that's present. We ask you, Lord, to bless the citizens of Waycross and the county of Ware, that we will be that community where businesses strive to come to and where we live lives that are worthy of your pleasing. For these things we ask in Jesus' holy name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'd like to thank our city manager for calling for our invocation from our Commissioner Nelson, who called for our Commissioner Simmons to give us our invocation and lead us in our pledge. At this time, do we have anyone for official actions tonight?
No, sir, we do not.
Okay. With that, we'll forego the reading of the decorum, but we will move into a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
So we have a motion to approve the agenda by Commissioner Sanders, seconded by Commissioner Simmons. At this time, we will go into voting. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. The agenda is approved for moving forward. We have no public remarks on official actions. Therefore, we go into our executive duties, and we look to our city manager to give us instructions regarding our awards.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At this time, the Public Works Director will introduce the recipient of the Kennedy L. Sanders Outstanding Citizen Achievement Award.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. It's my pleasure to introduce the recipient of the Kennedy L. Sanders Outstanding Citizen Achievement Award, Mr. William Bo Scurry. He's our maintenance mechanic at the cemetery. And it was on the morning of February 18th. It was well before his shift started. He was at the cemetery early, as he normally is on every day. And he smelled something that didn't quite smell right. And most people, as we probably all have, may just dismiss it and say, well, I don't know where it's coming from. It's not around near me. It is what it is. But his instincts said otherwise, and he went out to investigate. So he jumped in the truck and followed his nose and tracked it down on the other side of Plant Ave on Cherokee Drive, and saw there was an abandoned house, or our house under construction. It wasn't occupied, but the porch was on fire. And so he didn't hesitate, called 911, grabbed the garden hose, and started putting the fire out until the firefighters arrived a few minutes later. And the fire chief confirmed that his actions, no doubt, saved the house from, which was under renovations, helped save it from much further damage by being selfless, going above and beyond the call of duty, and potentially putting himself in harm's way when he didn't have to. But that's the kind of person that Bo is, and that's the kind of people that we have working for the city of Waycross, are people that, just like Bo, go above and beyond, even when they're not technically on the clock, to help serve others in the community, people that they don't know, just because that's the right thing to do, and we have people that care about that. So there's no doubt that the fire chief said his actions were detrimental, and his selflessness definitely deserves to be recognized this evening. And we're proud that Bo, not only does he work for Public Works, but just for the city as a whole. And there's many others that I know would do the same thing that work here. And so it's a great pleasure that I get to work with Bo on a daily basis.
Well, we commend Bo Scurry. Is that right? Well, I have something for you. Listen. I'll begin by reading what we have here. The Kennedy L. Sanders Outstanding Citizen Achievement Award is presented to Bo Scurry in recognition of your heroic actions in responding to a residential fire, your quick thinking and calling 911 and assisting until the arrival of fire and rescue personnel was instrumental in saving the home from further damage. Your courage and dedication to others bring great pride to the city of Waycross, and this is awarded to you this day, the 24th day of March, 2026, and I have affixed the seal in my name to this certification that tells you forevermore you are an awardee, and congratulations. At the camera and smile. Thank you. Again, congratulations. Let's thank Mr. Scurry again. At this time, we look to our city attorney to set our public hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Commission of the City of Waycross has scheduled a public hearing to be held on April 21st, 2026 at 4:30 p.m. at City Hall, that's 417 Pendleton Street, Waycross, Georgia, for the purpose of considering an amendment to the zoning ordinance of the City of Waycross, Georgia. The location of the property is going to be Marion Street between Burgess Street and City Boulevard. The area is directly next to the city water tower. Back to you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam City Attorney. Would you repeat those times and the date for me?
April 21st, 2026 at 4:30 p.m.
Thank you. So now we'll move into official reports, and we'll start with our city manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, the vision and the mission remain the same. The city plan remains the same. Again, we are in the 2 to 4 year time period, actually going into the 4 year time period. Everything is going well. The commission tonight will receive an update on the new website so you can see what we're doing with the new website. Mr. Mayor, these are the zones of operations for the month: Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3, and Zone 4. Mr. Mayor, this is the ongoing priorities as far as infrastructure update. Majority of the team is in Zone 4, with some work in Zone 3, and some of the crew in Zone 2 assisting infrastructure team in Zone 4. All projects are ongoing. The dirt street paving is ongoing. We're still doing the Lee Avenue culvert replacement. We actually put the culvert down last week. Permits and plan coordinators remain the same. GS technician remains the same. Water and sewer remain the same. And we have started working on, we should start working on Quarterman. If they didn't start today, they'll start tomorrow. They did have the equipment out there to start moving the equipment out there to begin. Next, Mr. Mayor, these are the streets and dirt roads that are being paved. As mentioned last night, they are working on utilities on Brunel Street. We did have a few issues with the ongoing housing development over there we got to work through as far as getting utilities done, but they should clean that up here this week. Once they're done putting those utilities down, they'll move over to Scrivens and then lay those utilities down. And then once that's done, we'll come back. They'll pave Brunel Street and then they will pave Scrivens Avenue. As a reminder, Scrivens is the first street that we're going to use a test model on as far as the speed strips. Based on how that goes with the police chief and the fire chief, we'll come back to the commission for their recommendations of other speed strips to be placed throughout the city if that is the will of the commission. The roads are listed. I've discussed Quarterman and Thomas Street. Mr. Mayor, again, this is a new slide for our residents who might not be familiar or know where to locate the list for our paving program. Again, we use a structured, data-driven methodology to prioritize our road improvements to make sure we allocate our funds that have the most impact. Inputs for our road list, of course, our robotics program that takes core samples to make sure we get the oldest roads first, engineering assessments, and then we add that with the traffic volume and usage pattern from GDOT at a 70-30 ratio to compile the list. And that makes us have our prioritization strategy, which is a goal to hit the worst roads first to ensure we spend the money on those first. And throughout time, as we get down the list, the amount of road work needed and the price should go down. So I want everybody to know that. You can find the complete list, not the complete list, but you can find the next 100 roads on the city's webpage in the engineering department down to the right quadrant of that page. Listed here are the next 20 roads to be done on the paving list, and that starts with Archer down to Butler Street. And in some cases, you might see a double street there. I think like Silly Boulevard, there's a north and the south to that, but it's the same street. We'll be doing I think it's north side first and then the south side. And these are the next 20. As a reminder, we're going to follow the mandate to complete all the dirt roads first, and that should be done late 2026, early 2027, and then we'll start on the paving roads. However, we have other funding that will allow us to start on some of these roads as early as late 2026, and once we determine what that order will be, we'll brief the commission. And again, for those residents who have questions about this, you can find it on our webpage in the engineering department down in the right quadrant of that page. Mr. Mayor, these are our collaboration projects with GDOT. Nothing has changed here. Again, for those who might not be familiar with this terminology, the pedestrian hybrid beacons are simply the beacons that flash red, actually stop red versus flash yellow. So that's going to be a great thing for us once they go in. And then the raised median portion down there in some of the narration, that's simply the medium between the roads to allow what we call the Frogger impact for residents to have a safe space to travel. Of course, we highly encourage, we wish residents to use the crosswalks that we have now. That's the first means of crossing streets. But once we get these mediums in, that should make it easier for our residents to cross some of our major roadways until we get a better plan. At the retreat, I will brief the commission on the current grant application with the appropriations bill. And as you know, the commission decided to put in for a pedestrian bridge. I got to provide some additional feedback for that, as well as the community center. So the community center, they needed a couple more support letters and some more engineering data. And for the pedestrian bridge, they need some more engineering data. So I'll get to them this week. And then once they get it, we'll come back to the retreat and kind of brief the whole way ahead. Mr. Mayor, Commission, this is the codes for this month. And again, I know the commission is going to make some changes at the retreat on some of our codes policy. We ask that the residents just be patient with the current process and the current policies. That includes home renovations. So if you have questions, concerns, especially if you've been speaking to your commissioner about a possible new change, I highly recommend you come to City Hall and ask about those proposed changes, and either wait till after the retreat, and once that is established as policy, so you don't waste any money and waste any time. Financial report, Mr. Mayor, outlines the city's taxes. You hear the SPLOST deal 2023, $5 million out of $17 million right now. Actually, that's $4 million. We have to keep $1 million, as I stated last night, in reserves for the Ossie Davis overpass, which has started construction. Construction meaning they've cleared out all of the side properties and right-of-ways to start other work. So residents, you might not see any true work for a few more months, but the great thing is the project has started. We got $5.7 million appropriated for roads and streets, $4.5 million appropriated for vehicles, park repairs. Each commissioner has that breakdown of $60K now in their park funds. Most of the commissioners have informed me of the improvements they would like, and we're starting to work those now as far as, in some cases, equipment, field modifications, and other changes within some of the parks. Blighted properties, we have $550,000 appropriated for that. Property taxes to date total $3.8 million. Local sales tax should say $2.3 million, not $23 million. I'll make sure we fix that. And then you see the business and alcohol license permits. And for those who are not aware, all your taxes pay for the salaries that provide the services provided by our great workforce. And you see there those monthly salaries for the police department, fire department, public works, and the support staff. And again, 75% of all taxes go directly to citizen services. Mr. Mayor, this is the way for us to stay connected. We have multiple means of communication with our residents, through our alert programs, through email, through text, and through phone notification. We're gonna push this out again at the beginning of the month, through the mail for our residents so they can sign up. Also moving forward at all town halls, we will bring that materials with us. And so the next town hall, if they wanna sign up right there on the spot, we're gonna do that. As well as a education on how to first download the app and then how to use the app. We're gonna start that again. Hopefully we get more residents to start using that app. Again, that's the most effective way, the fastest way to get with the city on any issues or concerns. And Mr. Mayor, that completes my report.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. Do appreciate the updates because we need those in order to know what's happening in our community alongside what we need to prepare for in days to come. So that is very necessary for us. That takes me to my report, and the report that I have. We made some comments last evening regarding House Bill 1116, and I asked that the business director put it up on the website so that you can click on it. You will see from Georgia cities, and you'll be able to be informed as the bills are progressing, both in the House and in the Senate. We had crossover day about 2 weeks ago, and we're looking at Sine Die coming up just before Easter. So that would be the weekend coming up into that. And Sine Die is just the benediction given to the time of the bills being done. And our hope is that these particular bills regarding like 1116, which is about property taxes, will go away. We know that may not be the case, but we would hope that that would be the case. We did see several bills translate into other bills. Some of the wording came out of those bills and started being added to the bill from other entities. So we're just praying that we don't have that struggle with taxes, because we recognize, as was stated in the financial portion of the city manager's report, the concern with 75% of our services are paid for by way of these taxes. And if those taxes are cut, that means we would have to cut employees. And so that's not a goal of ours, but we need to be prepared for whatever comes down from the state. And then going back to the ordinances that will be discussed in our meetings, we do realize that some of those are home rule, meaning that we can make those decisions, but there are some that are not home rule, and we would have to bring them up before our local legislators, who will take it back to the state. And hopefully we will be able to get certain things accomplished as far as the ordinances and the codes are concerned. Along with that, I have one good announcement. This is coming up, and you'll probably hear me make it multiple times. This will be the Healthy Kids Day. This is free to public, and there will be giveaways, face painting, entertainment, and music. And this will be for the 175th anniversary of the YMCA here in Waycross. Alongside that, there will be some inflatables and free food. And the YMCA is partnering with Satilla Advocacy and Call to Care, and this will be a day of fun for the entire family. The date, April 25th. The time, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And the place, 2401 Knight Avenue, Okefenokee Fairgrounds. And again, that's 11 to 2 on April the 25th, and that will be at the Okefenokee Fairground. This is a Healthy Kids Day, and it's free to the public. And that's all I have. That takes us to our consent calendar. Madam Clerk.
Consent calendar, approval of minutes, Waycross City Commission Planning and Information Session, Tuesday, March 2nd, 2026 at 5 p.m. Waycross City Commission meeting, Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026 at 5 p.m. Ordinance, there's no ordinance second reading, there's no previous license renewals. Back to you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Commission, you have heard the consent calendar read by our city's clerk. What is your pleasure?
Offer motion we approve the consent calendar, Mr. Mayor.
Our Mayor Pro Tem has given us a motion to receive the consent calendar. Is there a second?
I second it.
We have all of the commissioners saying second. With that being said, we'll move into voting. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Consent calendar passes. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Mayor, there's no previous licenses at this time, no bids and no ordinances. We have one resolution. Resolution of the City of Waycross, Georgia to submit an application to obtain FY 2026 Community Development Block Grant funds for the infrastructure improvements and for other purposes. By adopting this resolution, the City Commission will allow the City of Waycross, in conjunction with the Southern Georgia Regional Commission, to apply and obtain CDBG funds to address the need for adequate water, sewer, street paving, and flood and drainage improvements. Back to you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Commission, you have heard the resolution read by our city's clerk. What is your pleasure?
Move for approval, Mr. Mayor.
We have a motion for approval by our Commissioner Simmons. Is there a second?
I second it.
We have a second by our Commissioner Roberts. Any discussion or questions concerning this resolution? District 1,
No, sir.
District 2,
No, sir.
District 3,
No, sir.
District 5. Hearing no comments or concerns, we'll move into voting. All in favor, raise your right hand. Let the record show that all 4 commissioners have raised their right hand in approval of the resolution. The resolution passes. At this point, we will move to our last call. But before we do, I'll ask, is there an executive session?
There's no executive session, Mr. Mayor.
Hearing that there's no executive session, we'll start with District 1 with the last call.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. To the families of all the employees that we have lost, I would just like to say I'm sorry for the loss. I thank everyone for coming out tonight. I hope everybody have a safe trip back home. I also would like to thank everyone who called me, who texted me while I was down. Most of all, the ones that prayed for me. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner, and we're glad to see you back.
Thank you, sir.
District 2, Commissioner.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, first of all, I would like to thank everyone for coming out tonight, taking time to come and see what your government's about. Amen. I agree with that. Anyhow, would like to extend my deepest condolences to the families of the employees that will transition from this life to the next, and I ask God's grace be with you. I also would like to congratulate Mr. Bo Curry for winning the Kennedy L. Sanders Outstanding Citizen Award. And thank everyone for coming out to the community meeting, which I held a couple of weeks ago. This is your government, and the only way you're going to know is to come out and be concerned and listen to what's going on and ask questions. So we'll be holding another meeting along with Commissioner Nelson on the 29th of April at 6 p.m., so please come out. Mr. Mayor, today I'm wearing this blue and gold for Center High School.
All right, Center High School.
It was just celebrated 100 years. And I'm selfish. I feel that Center High was the best high school was in this community. I'm selfish. Because I know what was instilled in me and what they taught me to be and helped me to be. So I'll never forget Center High School. And I just encourage everyone to be mindful of what's going on and be careful. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. At this time, we look through District 3.
I would also like to share my condolences to the family, to the families of the city employees. I also like to recognize our former commissioner, Ms. Marion Solomon Game, in attendance, as well as Pastor Malone and Ms. Ruth McCord, one of the city's biggest supporters. I would like to also mention the bill, proposed House Bill 1116, and how it would impact District 3. The bill will provide relief to homeowners for their primary home alone. But in doing so, it's going to require local governments to find other means to pay for services that we would normally have.
we're gonna have a potential loss of services and a potential increase in taxes if that bill do pass. So I'm encouraging all constituents, all citizens to contact your representatives and persuade them not to pass that bill. Because this local government will be forced to reduce services and increase taxes. That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. At this time, we look to our District 5, Commissioner Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I get all of the last stuff, all of the redundancies and all of everything that's been said. But first of all, my condolences as well. Thank you all for coming out. I appreciate that because we need you guys out here.
Amen.
A lot of times, if you don't show up, they don't vote their conscience. So show up so we can show up. Also, I will be having a meeting, as Commissioner Simmons stated, a community meeting on April 29th. I've asked him to join me because most of this district, not most of it, but the majority of it stretches over to my district. So we would be doing a double whammy on that day. Also, HB 1116, as Commissioner Sanders stated, is a very important bill that we need to knock out the wars. Because we don't know how much damage it would cause us. And everyone will be affected because everyone has to have homeowners insurance. The homeowners insurance is based on your ISO rating of your city. So we will all be affected by it. So that's it, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner. We appreciate each commissioner being present tonight and also just appreciating you as citizens being here. There are a couple of things I want to make mention of prior to our closing tonight. And one of them happens to be this last week we went to the awards banquet in Macon to celebrate two of Waycross's finest. And I want to kind of make a note here. Detective Mark Horn and Sergeant Duncan Kirkland were awarded commissioner's citations for distinguished service. And this is an honor recognizing them being sworn personnel who made a substantial impact in the state of Georgia. And so we commend them for their professionalism and for their dedication as we congratulate all that were receiving awards on the Saturday night. Along with that, I do want to speak along the lines of the loss of lives in our community. It seems like this has been an ongoing thing. And as I said last evening, it's like a pall that is upon our community. And one of the things that we have to really think about is that life is very short. James puts it this way, he says it's nothing but a vapor. And being that it's a vapor, we should take time to be kind to one another. We don't know our last day. We don't know our day of expiration. There's no tag on our toe or on our hands that we would know of that we'd be able to note when we're going to leave. So we should always be considerate and concerned about those persons that we are involved with in our communities. And as you see people, say something kind to them. I can guarantee you'll feel much better after you've done it, as opposed to being cantankerous and belligerent, being one who likes to berate other people. If you can find a place in your vocabulary to say something kind, I encourage you to do so. With that, I do want to also commend Mr. Bo Scurry, who received the Kennedy LaDon Sanders Outstanding Citizen Achievement Award. That to me means a tremendous amount. We don't have many of those spikes. I've had people ask me, do we give away the key to the city? No, we give away a spike to the railway. So if you come by our way, we have something for you, something to hold you down, not just let you in. But with that being said, we are grateful to each of you again tonight, to our city manager, to our city attorney, to this awesome city clerk, to each of these commissioners, and to each one of you. We would bid you well tonight and have a good night and enjoy your day. I will now entertain a motion for adjournment.
So move, Mr. Mayor.
We have a motion for adjournment from our Mayor Pro Tem. Is there a second? We have a second from our Commissioner Nelson. Having heard that, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. This meeting is adjourned. Have a great evening.